Hello everybody, welcome to another reading. Today we're going to take a look at the Denver airport, or rather we're going to do a reading on the Denver airport because I've always found it an interesting place. I've watched a few videos regarding that, not too many because I don't want to be too influenced by previous knowledge, but I do know that there are some rumors about perhaps being some subterranean places there, some secret bases. In any case, the artwork that's strewn across the place is very interesting to say the least, with a large blue horse to welcome people, I guess, at the front. There's some interesting stories about that as well, so I thought I would do a reading about that to see what we can find. We're going to start off with the Santa Muerte deck, which you've already seen on the table. It's this one in case you hadn't seen that before. And if you want to ask any questions regarding whatever we're getting, we're going to use the Silver Witchcraft Tarot, which is more down to earth. I guess more the witching and alive side, at least of the tarot decks that I have here. So as per usual, I am an intuitive reader. If I see cards laying a certain way and I get a certain idea what that means, that's what I'm going to tell you. And if you see something else, make sure to let me know that in the comment section below. Okay, so that out of the way, let's get started. I've pre-shuffled the deck, but of course we're going to start shuffling and seeing what type of cards we get. And then as soon as I get a whole bunch, we'll just start looking at what we've got. Okay, we got a nice collection here. Let's take a look. We're going to start at the bottom. We got here the King of Swords reversed. Alright, so somebody influential who's not really telling the truth about certain things or trying to manipulate. In any case, communication is not quite as straightforward as it should be. Now the Cups here, somebody who has also a male influence, gripping the emotions, not really sure. And the King of Cups next to each other. Oh, that's interesting. So we got these two people here. These might be people involved in the design, so that's manipulation as well. There are definitely some people here who are upright, quite literally, but people related to them are not. So maybe there's people, I think it's like a mixture of people working together. Some people with the right intentions, some people with dubious intentions. That's what I'm looking at here. There's a whole bunch of people here in any case that are involved. We also have here what looks like the Ace. Yeah, that is the Ace of Pentacles reversed. So that's mismanaged finances, perhaps, like financial opportunity has gone wrong, or at least not as people would expect them to go. Perhaps money being spent in ways that people were not expecting or would not approve of. We have on this second row the Hermits. Alright, so that's like hidden things going internally, certain things out of sight. As you can see, they've hidden themselves away in the coffin to focus on themselves. Could be things hidden from other people, so they can indeed focus on things themselves. This is the Ace of Swords. Alright, so that's also new opportunities, more of a communication maybe. And if you look at those gigantic paintings, maybe there's something there. I think those two are related to paintings. Some of the paintings, murals that you may have seen. And this Ace of Swords, there might be messages in there to try to communicate to people, or to people who recognize messages. We do here have the Tower. Now this is a very nice looking card. I haven't actually looked too much at the Tower in this deck yet. Let me just study that for a second and see what I see. Gigantic skull breaking through. It's almost like an Escher picture. So this is like great upheaval, but also a lot of confusion. Normally the Tower card is just a tower or something else that's falling apart, but this is really like a lot of things are happening at the same time. Stairs are going off in different directions, which is actually a pretty good representation of how people feel about the place in particular, particularly if they come through the front entrance, I think, where they pass that gigantic horse with the glowing red eyes. You're wondering where the heck you are. I think this card symbolizes that quite well, and it might be that that is also the thing they were going for, like that's what they wanted. Let's see, this is the Five of Cups, so that's more of a crying over spilled milk, although I see here the guy has a maze on his head. So I'm thinking that's like not being able to escape from something, but it also makes me feel like there's a whole maze. It looks like a maze. The place is conceived as a maze. People also see it as a maze. He appears to be in the water staring down. So this is like a confusion card. If you look at that, he's not looking like he's quite on the ball. He's got a maze for a brain, like his thoughts are all over the place. He can't quite find his way out. I think that also, next to the ace, combined shows a good representation of what the airport does to most people, at least the ones who were trying to figure out what's going on, because it is a bit odd. But we do also have a positive card here called the Sun. Usually it's like a useful, bright energy. Things are not necessarily hidden, I think. I think what I'm looking at here... no, let me finish this line first and then we'll take a look. But this is definitely not a bad card. We have here the Two of Swords, being of two minds. So like unable to, or unwilling to make a decision. Maybe they were trying to go for a certain thing and it didn't quite work out. High Priestess in reverse though, so there are definitely some secrets hidden. That's what this is saying to me. And we have next to that the Emperor. Okay. Emperor, of course, being a very important figure. This could be the person who ordered it in the first place, ordered it built in that way. And since they are next to the High Priestess reverse, they may have like cooperated in this, cooperated to make a confusing place and design it exactly as they wanted it to be. So what this looks like, if I'm just looking at this lineup with all these different cards, different cups and stuff like that, a lot of cups actually, 3 cups right here. That's already a lot of water. Mostly it is air though. We have some swords here, we have swords there. So what I'm seeing here, what I was trying to say over here as well, is like I think they didn't have bad intentions when building this airport. It was more like a, if you know what you're looking at, you know what you're looking at, and if you don't, good luck. But it's not something bad, and that's what this Sun card is trying to tell me. Although some people may have had like thoughts about that, like maybe we shouldn't do this, maybe we shouldn't actually try to hide stuff, and maybe we shouldn't fool people. Like over here you got the King of Swords here, trying to make people think one thing when actually it's the other. These 2 cups though, I don't know exactly what these 2 are doing here and who they were, so I'm going to definitely draw some cards about these 2. What else would we like to know? Well, the Hermit of course is very interesting, and the Priestess reversed because they are actually showing or pointing towards things that are hidden. This tower thing does not seem like a sudden event, or maybe it was built for a sudden event. Yeah, like maybe they built it that way so that if there was a sudden event, they would be ready for that, whoever that might be, probably the Emperor over here. Okay, interesting. Let's start with these 2 cups over here. These 2 cups to see what we can find out about the Knight and the King of Cups side by side. Knight of Wands, first that comes out. Then the Page of Chalices, that's the Page of Cups again, more cups energy. I'm asking for clarification for cups, and all I'm getting is more cups. But next to the Knight of Wands here, Knight of Wands is usually in the other decks like somebody with a whole collection of wands behind them, and they're resting on wands, so they're kind of tired, they're weary, rather. Kind of like the cat in this lap right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's an old guy over there telling a story, and in this case, in this deck, it's more of an old man who has had his times and is now passing on his information to the youth around him. That might also be interesting. Okay, so this is a card that's talking about passing on knowledge after a long and fruitful life. And it seems to be combined with the cups, because the cups is also very emotional energy. Over here you got like a little heart on his chest right there. That's also showing emotion of the King of Cups. So it's almost like a wanting to leave something behind. You have the Page of the Cups over here as well, the Page of Cups. And the Knight as well, lots of cups. Like feeling like they needed to leave something behind. That's what I'm seeing here, because we're getting more cups here. Page of Cups is usually more of an emotional surprise. And then with these 2 together, let me put this deck down for a second. Like first of all, we have here a Knight and a King of Cups. Now Knights and Kings, they're very actionable male energies. And I wanted to know more about them, like what's going on here. We get these 2. So what this tells me, like what story's coming up here, is that there are a couple of people here who have definitely experienced some things, who have certain feelings, emotions that they feel, I guess, regarding to some potential future events that might be happening. And this Page of Cups here is usually like a sudden surprise thing. Could be positive, could be negative, but it could be that they wanted to prevent people from being too surprised by passing on knowledge and some place that people could turn to. Almost like that seed vault. You know that seed vault? I think it's in, where is that? Greenland or something? I don't know exactly where it is, but there's this gigantic slab of a building, I think in Greenland, and I think it's something that people have built internationally, so it doesn't belong to one particular nation, but it has seeds of all the different types of crops of the world in it, to make sure that if there was some type of apocalypse event or something ecological that would destroy our crops, that we could at the very least start again with this new seed crop from that vault, so that would be a backup, basically. Not a guarantee that we'd ever recover, but more like just in case, we still have this option here. And I'm thinking that this the cars that I'm seeing over here, this airport has certain similar secrets to it. And it's not that they want to harm people, but it's more like a just in case. And then of course there is always the barrier of people who do and do not understand what it's all about. But they want to kind of keep that a secret so people don't go looking too much and potentially, I don't know, opening Pandora's box, and it will not lead to a good positive outcome because that'll ruin the whole thing. That's what I'm kind of seeing, and the Emperor over here is also a type of an energy that wants to nurture people, wants to take care of people. It's the male version of the Empress. Empress, of course, is the caring, nurturing mother, and the father is the Emperor. In this case, he wants to take care of his young, he wants to leave them something, just like this guy over here at the fireplace, wanting to leave some knowledge behind, and he wants to make sure people are doing well. Who this is, I don't know who ordered the place built. Definitely some money went into this. I'm guessing now that I'm looking at this reversed Ace of Pentacles that it costed much more than they thought it was going to initially, and potentially it is still costing a lot of money because there's probably a lot of stuff being built there that's like specially handmade for this situation. I want to see more, I think, about the Ace of Swords here. That's the only one that I would really be able to place too well. Maybe the Two of Swords as well. Let's grab the Two Swords together. I'm going to move the Hermit. Oops. Move these guys over here. And I'll take a look what these swords are trying to tell us. Nope. Alright. A whole bunch of them falling out now. We got here 5 of Swords. Okay, that's more of a combat thing. And you can see people here doing like that. I don't know what the name is of that game. Like you throw a blade into the sand, you have to draw the line that goes along with the blade, and then that part of the land is yours, so to speak. So it's like claiming things. Let me just put everybody back because they were kind of rudely interrupted here. We got 2 other cards. The Temperance card is in reverse. Okay, and the Ace of Swords is back. So this is definitely talking about the Ace of Swords that's being echoed here again. So for the Ace of Swords, we got here the 5 of Swords and the Temperance in reverse. And this seems to me like, just in case the Temperance in the world do not stay calm and they start trying to claim things, that is the reason why this place was built in the first place. Like the Ace of Swords here is talking about the reason why it was built at all. Like, okay, if there's trouble because people are out of balance, then we have a backup, which is what this is. So that's the Ace of Swords. What about the Two of Swords? What do we got there? Whoops, that one flew out immediately. Or they did, because there's several. Ace of Swords. Okay, so the Ace of Swords was basically the Emperor thinking, I don't know if this is going to be worth the bother. As you can see, I got 2 Pentacles in one row. This is the 5 of Pentacles. Okay, it's like a bankruptcy thing. And over here we got the 9 of Pentacles, which is usually like a profit thing or doing well. It's like the Empress energy of the deck. But they're both reversed. Now this is usually more of an internal thing, like they may feel like they've bankrupted themselves, and I think they did definitely take a large chunk out of their own finances to do that. Of course, partially it'll be financed by the government and then of course the taxpayer money, but I think they also had a lot of personal investment in here, the people that are at the top of this project, and they weren't quite sure if that was going to pay off, and that's why we have here the Two of Swords. Like they're not really sure about it, but they did it anyway because it was needed. And that is it that I got for these guys. What else should we take a look at? I think the sun is already clarified. Can we see any secrets? Because the High Priestess is here reversed, but what else can we see here? Ooh. What do we got? Three of Pentacles. Okay, working in secret, because the Three of Pentacles is usually like a work-related card, people coming together to have a project that they want to finish, and that is the High Priestess working in secret, basically, along with the Hermit right here. He's flanked now by the Hermit and the High Priestess, so that makes sense. They were working together to try and get this place put together in secret. Certain things are probably hidden in plain sight. People working very hard to try and solve the mysteries, but I think we're going to see some more hidden. There's still work being done, is what this card's telling me. Like, they're not done yet. There might be the whole place above ground with its interesting murals and places and secrets that people already kind of know about, open secrets, but I think there is more work being done. Like, they're not done yet. And what they're doing there, I don't know, and potentially we shouldn't ask. Because if you look at the rest of these cards that we've seen so far, there is definitely a positive intent here. And perhaps you shouldn't go ahead and reveal everything, because that might only help make this come true a little faster. Maybe they already see this coming, actually. That just came through. Like, maybe they already see some imbalances in the future that they're trying to prepare for. That's why this Nine of Wands and the Page of Cups are also here. And that's why they're still working hard to try and get everything done on time. I think that's what it's trying to say. And I think we're done with this reading. I don't feel the need to draw any more cards. I think we got the whole picture here. It's a bit of a mess currently on the table, but if you followed it from beginning to end, you know what it all means. So that was the Denver airport. Hope you found that interesting. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like I said before, if you see anything else in the cards, make sure to let me know that as well. If you want to have a reading on something else, then make sure to leave that in the comments as well. I'll put it on the list. In any case, I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.